am an obsessive list maker. So I have very short-term goals. I usually have about 1,000,000 things to do every day. And I'm obsessive about writing all this on paper. And then at the end of every day, I see what I got done. At the end of the week, I do the same. I throw out a lot of pieces of paper that are no longer relevant. And then for bigger goals, I kind of set them at the beginning of the year and review them maybe middle of the year. I am running a university, and I am new. I've been in this position only 1 year. And so for me right now, the big picture is really, really important. The big picture involves what I want to do in building a culture at the university. So I have big goals. So the answer is yes, I still have goals.
Goals and lists, short-term and big goals, long-term
Yes.
goals as well. She's still living what she's teaching us to do. That's fantastic. Let's go back in time. I think your story and being taken by the Catholic nuns to that school that changed your entire life was so fascinating. Tell us what happened within those walls, because I read that you found a library.
Yes. So when the nuns took me in, I was illiterate. I couldn't really read. I couldn't even spell my name. And I didn't know the difference between a 0 and 100. And so the first thing that happened to me was just this hunger. And in the school, the smartest person was seated in the first row. And the dumbest person was seated in the last seat, 6th row. I was that person in the 6th row. And what happened was I discovered my competitive spirit. I looked at the girl in the first seat, first row, and I said to myself, I want to be her. And so, in about 2 months, I was able to be that girl in the first seat, first row. And then the other thing that may be worth mentioning is, I had no money. So during recess time, all the kids would go to the cafeteria and they'd buy garlic peanuts. It smelled really good. But I couldn't buy garlic peanuts or Coca-Cola, so I'd hide in the library. And I felt bad about that for a little bit of time because I thought, here I'm hiding in the library. But what happened was I read every single book in the library. And so that really shaped me in a very big way. I learned faster, I learned more than anybody because there were 2 recess times every day, and I was in the library reading books.
When you were in the library reading books, we know what happens. Books can transport you over time and space. Did you ever sit back and think that my life would be this giant life that would span all these countries and continents? What did you think as a young girl that was hungry for education and getting an education at that point?
So I not only read books, I read a lot of magazines. And one of the magazines that I picked up was Time. And I remember one day reading about New York City. And I remember reading about the United Nations. And this is a true story. When I was 10, there was an American missionary from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints who came to our hut and he asked me, Asteid, what do you want to be when you grow up? Without skipping a beat, I said, I want to live in New York City and work in the United Nations. And I only said that, not knowing anything about New York and not knowing anything about the United Nations, because I saw it in a magazine. And that's what I mean when I say dreams are free. So I ended up in real life living in New York City for 13 years, and I did work for the United Nations for 1 summer as a lonely, unpaid intern.
But you did it. You did it. That was amazing. So somewhere, Asteid, somewhere in your heart and somewhere in your mind was that dream. You had big goals for yourself, even as a young girl, just beginning that educational process.
Yes, so let me emphasize that. What we can picture in our heads has the power of magic. And I know that sounds like a superstitious statement, but I think it's true. What we can picture in our heads has the power of magic, because everything we are, what we think, what we say, now all involves around that dream we are dreaming. So I think, it may even have been very unrealistic, you would think at the age of 10, that I thought that. But once I started thinking these things, I could feel it in my bones. And so in the world of business, I've been in the world of business, I have a 10-year stint in the corporate world. I think it is so important, that conviction that what I'm doing is meaningful, what I'm doing can change me and can change my family and the world, and I'm going to give it my all, you know. So I think really that visioning in your head, that belief is so important.
So you're telling everyone in this room that is a new skin entrepreneur, look, see, visualize.
Well, I own a Lumi spa, so if you could sell me, or actually I got it for free. so you know, yeah, visualizing it, having what you know, as an entrepreneur, it is that spirit. I can see it, I can feel it, I can do it. That is the same ethos I talk about with my students every single day. You know, my university is 36% first generation. No one in their family had gone to college. So I tell them exactly the same thing. See it in your head, feel it, do it.
We can see this trajectory of your life, but I want everybody to know it wasn't easy and you didn't just hop from one thing to the next without adversity in your way. Tell us about a time where you got tripped up a little and how you overcame that and kept pushing forward to reach your goals.
Yes, being tripped up, I mean, I think that is just a given. Everybody will get tripped up, no matter how good you are, no matter how successful you are. When I found out that I was a good student, it was really, really important for me to get straight A's. And so I remember being a college student at Brigham Young University here in Utah, you know, getting my first A minus. Now that's kind of funny, right? An A minus is a really good grade. I remember it was 10 p.m. walking across campus at Brigham Young University, tears streaming down my face. And I remember, you know, being in the middle of this big square, and I just screamed, and it felt really good. So what have I learned? I have had other bigger types of adversity in my personal and professional life. So there are several things that I've learned. Number one is know that support system that you have. I said earlier that there's strength in numbers, your support system. Know that place or that person or those people you go to where they love you and they also tell you the truth. For me, running has been a big thing. I run, and I started running in my 40s. And I ran my first marathon at the age of 45. Because I was hitting a wall, professionally and personally. And it will happen to everyone. And so whether that's sports, your friends, and then, you know, finally, I think my last point, believe in yourself. Believe in yourself means that you are telling yourself you are enough no matter what. And you can recover, you can be resilient. And I think if you accept from the very beginning that there will be ups and downs, but you are good, and you can go out there and compete, and you know, that kind of belief, that kind of resilience is really important. Also, go shopping, get a massage.
Always good advice.
Dark chocolate, one more. Dark chocolate, 70 to 90% chocolate is the best.
You heard it here from Asteid Tuminez on the stage. So for all of the people out there that are saying, I see that, I want to get there, I want to have that deep conviction and belief in myself and what I can do and see in my mind, how do you get from here, where we are today, to that self-belief? How do you get over that chasm?
How do you cultivate self-belief? I think a lot of that comes from doing. So I remember the very first talk I gave at Harvard University. I was in my early 20s. I remember before the talk, and I was going to speak in front of professors and smart students. I remember going to the bathroom like I was going to puke. And you know, what you do is you fake it till you make it. That's one really, really good tactic. And then the other thing is to keep it real. You'll see around you people who are better, people who pretend they're better. But if you keep it real, with your intention being that you want to be the best person that you can be, you want to be the most successful person you can be, you want to be that person who helps others, I think that intent can be very powerful. And then, you know, just do it. Just do it. The worst thing that can happen is you fail, and you just get up and you do it again. So I would say that a lot of it really just comes from doing and then making sure you've got those good intentions.
And just being around you, I can feel it. How important is it to be positive?
Oh yeah, well it is, you know, the thing, again, like I said, the most important story you can tell is the story that you tell yourself. For me, it is an ethos to always choose hope, to always choose to be positive, and part of that was I had no choice. I had no choice. When you live in a hut that you saw in the picture and there are typhoons, the hut is shaking, you may die. You wake up the next morning, you're still alive. You know, it's a good thing. So I had no choice, but for those of us of choice, I think that freedom is pretty absolute to choose to be positive. I think even in the most dire of circumstances, we as human beings are capable of saying to our brains, I am going to be hopeful, I am going to be positive, I am going to do something good for someone else today. And already your dopamine levels will be higher, you'll be feeling good. And sometimes I do something very funny, laughter yoga.
Laugh yoga, love it.
You just laugh. It's very weird, but you will feel positive.
Well, Dr. Asteid Tuminez, we are going to remember to dream big and believe in ourselves. And what a great example of a growth mindset and changing the world one step at a time. Let's give a warm, new skin welcome and thank you to Dr. Asteid.